Hello there and welcome dear students to this particular course wherein I am excited to teach you about what is Google Remarketing. I am myself trainer Pranav Parekh going to explain you these concepts of Google Remarketing. I am a Google certified professional for Adwords. I have experience of over 7+ years in the industry, having worked with different organizations and helping them with their digital marketing strategy and implementation. This course is brought to you by Eduonix Learning Solutions, one of the leaders in the market providing online training courses for technology, digital marketing, and other subjects. This course is for beginners and anyone who has some basic knowledge of internet and would like to explore the power of using this method of digital marketing, with the help of which they can get more customers and get more business. This course is built in a step-by-step manner where I'll walk you through all the topics, starting first with the concepts about it and then following with the process of how to implement it. Once you have gone through the course, I can assure you that you can run live campaigns yourself and see the results you get from remarketing. In the course, we are going to see all topics, even if you are not aware at all about AdWords, then too you would be able to know as to how to get started with AdWords, what is the definition of remarketing, and even all the basic terms which are understood as jargons by many people who are not from this industry, like impressions, CTR, and a lot more. So we are going to see all of this step by step in this course indeed. Thus go ahead and enroll for the same. I'll see you at the other side of the course. Hello students, let us get started with the very first topic indeed and understand as to what is Google Remarketing. From simple definition perspective, remarketing is a clever way to connect with visitors to your website who may not have made an immediate purchase or inquiry. What remarketing does is that it allows you to position targeted ads in front of a defined audience that had previously visited your website as they browse elsewhere around the internet. So this is a simple definition just to share with you some basics. You may have visited a website like an Amazon and viewed certain products, but it's very much possible you may have not done the purchase of that product at that very moment. What happens is that once you close the website and then visit other websites, you see ads of the product which you had visited. It is simply like your mobile network following you wherever you take your mobile phone, and that is indeed what one can understand in very simple terms what remarketing does or what it means. In line with what we are discussing, here is an example which even I had seen of remarketing very recently. So I was browsing through certain mobile phones and checking out the details of it, and in that, past leaving the site, I had visited another website where I was reading some news article and content, and there you can see at the bottom of the page there is the ad of the mobile phones which I had seen while browsing the website of Amazon. So this is indeed the basic concept of remarketing. As we have seen in the definition slide, it has been developed as a concept because it's believed that people would do a purchase again if they see the same product over and over multiple times. And that's the reason why this format of advertising has proven to give a lot of benefits to the advertisers and even has been helpful to the purchaser or the customer to buy a product or service. So that's a very simple example as well as simple definition given online of remarketing. There are indeed a lot of other details around it which we'll definitely be seeing in our. One of the important pointers to know while we are learning remarketing is as to what is the benefit to a company or organization, or if you are the business owner, then how would you get to reap the best possible output from your remarketing activity. Thus, I have put on these pointers which explain the advantages of using remarketing ads, because many a times people who are trying a new activity or people who are not knowing about a marketing method may be in a dilemma as to should they go forward with this particular method or not. Thus, I am sharing some facts which indeed are seen and observed by all the advertisers who are using remarketing. Number one, it helps customers to recall about your product or service you are offering, because when you do remarketing, you are showing them ads of that product or service again and again, and many a times people are attracted to buy a product when they see those ads, as well as it gives them a recall as to this product or service belongs to this particular company or organization. Together with that, it's human mindset to select something or decide on a product or service only once they are repetitively seeing it, and remarketing indeed helps us to do that in a better manner. Apart from it, it has been seen that it even leads to good amount of increase in sales and lead generation, as well as it helps improve overall business returns. There has been organizations and sectors which have seen returns right from 2% up to even 23 to 25%, getting more customers and visitors due to incorporate remarketing. So that's one great benefit or advantage which any marketer who is doing digital marketing should use in their set of marketing activities. Together with that, while this being said, there are also some caution points to be taken care of around remarketing. Thus, the caution points you need to be aware about is that you should make sure that by showing remarketing ads again and again, you are not irritating the user, because overindulgence in something may lead many a times that the user can get frustrated or can arrive at a conclusion of disliking a product. Thus, ensure that you are showing remarketing ads but have set a limit, ideally a frequency limit, as to how many times your ad will be shown to your end user. A better alternative therein would be to go forward and make multiple creatives, so as even if your product or service is shown again and again, it is shown with the help of a different communication, so as even if the product or service is shown repetitively, there is some different image or a new ad appearing of your brand to that end user. So this mechanism of having more variety of ads would not lead for sure that the end user gets irritated. So these are some basic points to keep in mind around doing remarketing, and for sure it has great amount of advantages which would cut down on the disadvantages or the part wherein we need to be careful. Also, just to share some stats with you, here is an example on a site which shows that because of use of remarketing, there has been an increase in the conversion rates, and a nice activity observed is the more number of times the ad has been shown, that is, there are more ad impressions received, there has been increment even in the number of people buying a product or service. So that's an advantage of remarketing. What does ad impression mean, as well as other concepts about remarketing, are something which we need to learn, which indeed we would be seeing through in the further tutorials. Okay, so going further, once we have seen the definition and this basic example of how an ad appears in remarketing, interesting question which anyone would like to know or would be interested to get information about is that how do we get started with this? What is the process by which anyone as an advertiser can show interesting ads like these which are seen through the process of remarketing? For getting started with Google remarketing, these are the simple basic points which are required. You need a Google account, the one which you use for accessing Gmail. With the help of that, you can sign in to Google Adwords. What is Google Adwords? We'll see that in a moment. Once you sign into Google Adwords, you complete the process of getting started with it by submitting your payment details, as these are paid ads. Then you need to also have some basic know-how of concepts. And finally, you need to create something known as a campaign in Adwords and then do remarketing through it by further going and even creating ads related to your product or service. So in a nutshell, these are the small set of steps which are required. But yes, when we go in detail, each step has its nitty-gritties which will make it important to be learned one after the other. So first of all, the next important thing coming in line which one would be interested to know is about what is Google AdWords. So in simple terms, it is ideally the platform through which millions of advertisers advertise on Google. It is actually the main product or service of Google with the help of which they are earning millions and billions of dollars in revenue. And in simple terms, here is the definition, that it is an advertising service by Google provided for businesses and individuals who want to display ads on Google and its advertising network. So whenever you do a search on Google, many a times you see results which have an ad icon. Whenever you browse other websites, you see ads which have an icon like ads by Google. So all of these different varieties of ads which you see is something coming to you with the help of this platform of Google known as AdWords. And just to share with you a simple example around it, like I have been looking for getting insurance for my car, and if I do a search like buy car insurance online, you'll be seeing that there are results on the page here which are having this ad icon, and these results are coming from advertisers who are paying to Google or would pay to Google when someone clicks on these ads. So if you are one of the advertisers who would like to show their ads in a similar format, then you have to use the product of Google known as AdWords. Or else, for example, if I go on a website where I can read latest news or latest updates, therein see there are these ads which are being shown in the form of display ads or ads with images, and there if I go on this particular icon in that ad, it reads ads by Google. There are these ads which are known as display ads apart from the ads which appear when we search something on Google, and these kind of ads also form a part of Google AdWords. Thus, for getting started with remarketing, these are the first steps that we need to follow through, and we need to do a lot of other activities apart from this. So once we have known as to what is Google AdWords, so as we can learn it in a better efficient manner as well as understand its concepts in the right format, there are some prerequisites which we should be knowing about as we learn the process for showing ads using Google AdWords. So here are the pointers which I have put in, that before we can learn AdWords, we need to know certain concepts like what is PPC, what is VCPM, what is impressions, what are search ads, and what are display ads. So the last 2 points, we have seen some brief details about it in the previous tutorial. So search ads are one which appear when we do a search on Google, like I did a search about buy car insurance online. And display ads are those which appear not on Google's own domain, like a news website where I was reading an article and there were display ads coming onto it. So those two terms I believe are understood to you. Going ahead to throw some light on the other part as to what is PPC or VCPM or impressions, let me give you some basic info that whenever you are doing paid advertisement, there is some methodology through which the particular activity gets charged. So there is the methodology that if you want to show an ad on radio, you will be charged basis the length of the ad, depending on the amount of seconds or minutes, as well as depending on the time slot when that ad is played, either in morning, afternoon, evening, so on and so forth. Similarly, if you would like to advertise in a newspaper, you are charged basis the location where the ad is appearing, on the front page of the newspaper or any of the inner pages or the last page, as well as the size of the ad, whether it's a full page ad, a half page ad, so on and so forth. Similarly, here when we want to do paid advertisement on Google as a service provider and the other advertisers who are partnering with it, we need to understand these mechanics basis which they are going to charge us. First methodology by which we are charged is known as PPC or pay per click. What pay per click means is that you are charged only when there is a click received on your ad, and by default this is the mechanism through which there is the payment happening by the advertiser for search ad. So this is a great advantage which is there in advertising, that you are not charged for showing your ad, but you are only charged when someone clicks on your ad. Against that, VCPM is viewable cost per 1000 impressions or viewable cost per mile. So you are charged when there are 1000 impressions shown of your ad. So what is an impression would be the next question coming in line. In simple terms, impression is one time when an ad is shown. Whenever an ad is shown for one individual time, it is defined as an impression in terminology of digital marketing. To understand this concept better of PPC, VCPM and impressions, let me show you an example. So here when I have done that search of buying car insurance online, there are multiple ads which are shown by different advertisers. In all, if we see, there are 4 ads here, one below the other. While these advertisers are showing that ad, and maybe if I decide to do some other search, like I only decide to search for buy car insurance, there are again other 4 ads or change in the position of the ads which are seen. The important point to note here is these advertisers are not charged any amount just for showing their ads. They will be charged an amount only if I go forward and click on any one of these ads. And that's why the name of the model is PPC or pay per click. And this is the basic model by which one can advertise when they want to show search ads. There is no option of VCPM available in search ads. But apart from this, many a times advertisers have the aim of just showcasing their products, and they may not be interested on getting clicks on their ad. For example, a company launching a new shampoo, or maybe a cold drink company launching a new flavor, they are just interested in making the end user aware of their product by showing an image and related data. So there is one more model which is available for these kind of ads known as display ads, in which the advertiser is charged for 1000 times when their ad is shown, known as viewable cost per 1000 impressions. And therein, there is the charging happening to you not for the clicks you receive, but each 1000 times when your ad is shown. So this option is available only for display ads, and in display you have a choice to select from whether you would be charged basis clicks or whether you would be charged basis 1000 impression. So these are the basic pricing methods which are there in doing ads on Google. Apart from it, there are other methods as well, which we'll discuss as and when the time comes. But on a basic level, these are some elements to be understood. And as I said, the last concept related to it is something known as impressions. So here, when I did a search for buy car insurance online previously, there were these ads of Bajaj Allianz and other companies shown previously, as well as there are these ads shown again. So at the back end, each and every time when an ad is delivered for any advertiser, it is counted as one impression. And if any user clicks on an ad, that is counted as a click. So impressions is a mechanism by which one can know how many times their ads have been delivered. These are the basic concepts to go forward and get started with AdWords. So going further in our quest, the next thing that we need to do is create an AdWords account. And here is just a snap of the screen of the page where we can create the account itself. For getting started with it, we have to go on the domain google.com/adwords and then sign in with our Google account details, the account which we use for Gmail or signing into YouTube. Once we complete those details, it will take us to the pricing page where we have to complete certain activities. Like the first activity is selecting the time zone and the billing currency. Time zone is important because basis that you will be seeing the reports which are required to monitor your campaign performance, like daily report, weekly report or monthly reports. Then there would be the activity of selecting your currency, as this product is available in multiple countries throughout the globe. Depending on the location, you have to decide on the currency. Once that is done, get started with filling ideally your card details. You can ideally submit or actually deposit some amount first and get your campaign started, or you could even submit your card details, get some credit from them, start your campaign, and when that amount is reached, you will be charged on your card. So this method is quite similar to how charging happens for our phone or other internet connection, like either do prepaid deposit or you could do postpaid as well. So those are some basic steps to get started with it. To show you practically how that can be done, let me share the steps in the interface itself. So here I am on the Google AdWords interface. As I said, you can type in google.com/adwords/ and you would be landing on this interface, or you could even type in adwords.google.com and land on the same page. So that's the first page which we'll be seeing when we want to get started with it. The first step we need to take is click on this sign in button. I'm explaining these steps to those who have never worked on AdWords before or have used any of their accounts to sign into AdWords. You click on this particular step. Now, as I have a existing Google account, I am going to sign in with the same. For anyone who does not have a Google account, let me show you the steps of creating the same. I believe this would be a unnecessary step for majority of you, but anyone looking to create a Google account, you can do so by clicking on this tab, and then when you land on this page of signing in, you have to click on more options and click on create account. Then you will land on a page where it will ask you to fill details like your first name, last name, new email address which you want to create for the Google account, and phone number, password and other details. Once you complete this and click on next step, your new account would be created. Also, many a times people, when they are looking to try AdWords for the very first time, they are majorly interested in doing so with a fresh account. So even people looking forward to do it in that manner can utilize these steps. Once you are done with it, you will be required to sign in, or you will be landing on this page where it will ask you to sign in with that new account. I'm going to show you steps on a fresh account which has not been used for AdWords perspective, because there is one cool nice tip which I am going to share in this tutorial, with the help of which you can sign in using a Google account which is not used for AdWords, and I'll show you a tip through which you can get started with AdWords without the requirement to submit your card details. That means if you just want to practice the interface or do certain steps in the interface to test it around, create a campaign and make other changes without making it live, that is the ads getting published on the network, you can do so with this step. The reason why I'm showing you this step is because majority of the students would first like to practice how things get done, and then on a later stage submit their payment details and run a campaign live. So till time they are not confident to run a live campaign, they can use these steps and just do some practice, and once they are confident, they could go ahead and then submit the card details and see results for a live campaign. Let me sign into one of the accounts which is not being used. So these steps are only seen when you are using AdWords for the very first time with a particular Google account or Google ID. Very first screen which you see is about asking you what is your email address and what is your website, and then clicking on continue. The step that you have to do here and be careful with is that you have to click on this link named skip the guided setup. Once you click on the link, then it will take you to a page which will ask for your time zone and currency details, and then once you continue, you will land in the interface of AdWords without requiring to fill your card detail. Otherwise, if you go forward and fill this form and click on continue, it will take you to a guided step wherein filling up your card details for payment would be a necessary step to move ahead and land into the AdWords interface. So make sure you use this nice tip if you want to practice without submitting payment details. Once you are done with it, you land on a page where you are shown campaign details. So we'll see those details and mechanics of how we go further with other elements of AdWords. So continuing with our learnings further, once we have seen the sign up process and past the nice mechanics being seen as to how we can go ahead without submitting the card details for practice purpose, let me now dive into one of the other accounts I'm having, in which I'll show you some basic steps in the interface as to what all different opportunities are there available for us, and then even give you basic navigation tips of the interface itself. So now I am logging in to one of my other AdWords account, in which I have already done the steps which I have shown in the previous tutorial, and past clicking on the link skip the guided setup, this is actually the page which you would be landing to once you complete your details about time zone and currency. Once you land in the interface, you will be seeing 4 to 5 major tabs at the top. That would be Home, Campaigns, Opportunities, Reports and Tools. the majority of the time which you would be spending would indeed be in the campaigns tab. As this account of mine is one in which campaigns are already created, I am seeing this particular look and feel. In your scenario, if you have logged in for the very first time, you'll be seeing a tab known as Create My First Campaign, which will be there on the top left hand side out here, and you would not be seeing details like these as there would be no campaign created till date. The first step for you would be to understand the interface as well as then go on that button and click on Create First Campaign. So let me explain the other entities for understanding purpose. Your billing details and other data is available on the settings tab at the top. Also, as you would have not provided the billing details, you will be seeing this red mark till time you provide or submit your details, and your ads will never be seen live on Google up till and unless you have submitted these details. Lastly, any new updates or changes which are coming in, that will be seen through this notification tab, which will help you understand what all changes have recently been introduced and any concerns about your account as well. Also, each Adwords account has a unique 10-digit ID known as customer ID, which is there on the top right hand side corner, below which there is their Google account details as well. That much basic information known about search and display ads, I would like to go forward and click on this drop down tab and help you with understanding more varieties which are available in the Adwords interface and give you a broader picture of what all advertising opportunities are available. So when we want to show ads specifically on Google search, whenever a user does some kind of research or is in need of some solution, like we did a search by car insurance and we had seen multiple results. So in that scenario, you create a campaign variety known as search network only, through which ads are shown on Google's own domain and few of Google's search partners. Apart from it, the ads which we have seen in form of images and sometimes even text ads which appear on other websites known as display ads, they can be created with the help of this campaign known as display network only. And the process we are going to learn about remarketing is basically going to revolve around this element of display network only, while definitely we'll be seeing how remarketing can be done even for other type of campaigns. Apart from these two, there is also something known as shopping campaigns, and there are something known as shopping ads. So whenever you do a search for mostly a product, like I had been recently looking for a mobile phone, and if I do a search for something like buy mobile phone, I'll be seeing that in that particular search, apart from the results which are there in form of ads here, there are these results at the top which are not having a similar look and feel like these search ads, but they also form a part and parcel of ads, which is indeed known as shopping ads. So anytime when you search for a product or service and you see ads which have images as well as a bit of product description and other data, then those ads are something which will be forming a part of a shopping campaign. So these kind of ads help specifically product sellers to showcase a lot of details of their products in the ad. Apart from it, when you would have been viewing videos on YouTube, you would have seen there are ads which appear before the start of the actual video. This kind of ads can be created with the help of the second last variety seen here, known as video campaigns. And lastly, there is also one more variety possible through which one can show ads for downloading mobile apps on mobile phones. You would have definitely seen that when you are playing a game, or many a times when you are using any application, there are ads to install other applications, and those ads are something which can be created using universal app campaign. For example, here is an image showcasing how there are ads in games or other applications telling you to install an mobile app. So these kind of ads can be created with the help of universal app campaign, and this is indeed the plethora of all different varieties of campaigns we can create in Google AdWords. We'll be seeing some related part from within this which revolves around remarketing. So going further, the next important thing to understand once we have successfully created an AdWords account and seen there are so many different kind of campaigns which can be created and learn this process, the next thing is to understand few concepts which are important from the perspective of how we are going to manage the campaigns effectively, as well as to give you some insights as to what this term, which has been repeatedly being talked about in the form of campaign, means. So to give you an idea, here you would have seen there are so many different kind of tabs like campaigns, ad groups, ads, keywords and other stuff, inline, display network, etc. And in that I have been talking multiple times about this term. So what indeed does campaign mean? So to give you nice understanding, let's take a standard example. Let's say that you are the owner of an electronics store and you have to sell different products using the power of Google AdWords and advertising them online. So when you have multiple products like mobile phones, refrigerators, TV, you need to understand as to how to effectively manage your campaign and what is the process in which you can show different ads for different products without any mix and match happening. Thus, to make this possible, there is a structure which has been created from the end of AdWords, and if that structure is understood to us, we can manage our data and manage our ad very much effectively. So in this particular diagram, if you observe, there are two examples which are being given. One is the actual understanding of something known as the structure of an AdWords account, and the other diagram showcases the mechanism of how data is being segregated and is stored in our laptop, computer or desktop device. So the first diagram is for easier understanding perspective, that the highest level where the data gets stored in a laptop or computer is known as hard disk or hard disk drive, in which there is the separation of that hard disk in the form of B drive, C drive and other drives, followed by which there is folders which are coming at level 3, where people create different folders like a work folder, music folder, so on and so forth. And then within each folder you have the ability to create multiple files. So this is the mechanism of how data is structured so as we can manage it effectively in our system. Similarly, when you have to manage multiple ads, when you want to target different kind of keywords for which your ads will be shown, and when you want to effectively make sure that none of the data gets mismatched with each other, like there is a TV ad shown when someone is searching for refrigerator, or there is mobile phone ad shown when someone is searching for a microwave. So to ensure this kind of mishap would not happen if you are handling an electronics store AdWords account, there is a structure of AdWords account where the topmost level is your customer ID, 10-digit ID, followed by which you create multiple campaigns depending on your product or service. So in case of an electronics store, that would be campaign 1 for TV, campaign number 2 for washing machines, campaign number 3 for mobiles, so on and so forth. Then within each campaign, you create something known as ad groups. Like there would be an ad group for LED TV, one ad group for LCD TV, one ad group for HD TV under the first campaign of TV. Followed by which, at the last level, there would be the ads, there would be the keywords, and there would be some other details regarding how you are targeting. So under LDTV, there would be ad of LDTV for 42-inch or best price LDTV or even lowest cost LDTV. So all ads related to LED TV would be under one common ad group. Similarly, all ads related to LCD TV may be under another common ad group. That is how effectively structuring of AdWords account is done, so as you can manage it very much efficiently. And to show you an example of the same, here you can see there is one campaign related to leads for car insurance. If I go within that campaign, the next step is in the form of different ad groups which are all related to car insurance. One is about low rate car insurance, one is about online car insurance, so on and so forth. And if I go within the ad group of low rate car insurance, or even within the ad group of online car insurance, you can see there are different keywords which are related to online car insurance, which are having the term online and car in them, as well as there is an ad which is related to online car insurance. And this is the process which is adopted when a campaign is created and when you want to create multiple different ad groups related to one product and then multiple ads related to that ad group, you follow this same procedure. So it's a 3-level mechanism which you can even understand through this particular entity here, that when I open one of my ad groups and then go to a particular ad or see the keywords for which those ads are, there is this first level of account where all campaigns are together, the second level where an individual campaign is there, the third level of ad groups, and the fourth level of ad under it. This is how structuring of an account happens, and thus you should be managing it in the same way. So the first part of homework or practical thing which you can do as a takeaway from here is to go forward and create a structure. Maybe take a pen and paper and make something like this. Enter your campaign names, enter your ad group names, so as you are having a clear structure as to what your products and services are. One more important mechanism by which people create this particular structure is by replicating their own website. Their website is having similar structure, they replicate it here. For example, if I show you a particular famous website, like let's say, so in this particular website, you can see there are major sections which are there at the top, like entertainment, hygiene, photography, cooking, so on and so forth. And if I click on any one of them, then there are smaller sections which are a part and parcel of it as well. Like under probably in entertainment, there would be music and video and other elements. Under cooking, there would be home appliances and similar stuff. There would be bifurcation of the website with different products, and this could be taken even as an example for a structure. These all main tabs will form the campaigns, followed by there would be ad groups depending on the subcategories. Like in entertainment, there are subcategories like television, systems, gaming, etc. And then under it, there would be, if one goes forward under any one of them, like for example speakers or maybe television, there would be again different subcategories related to it. Thus, this is the mechanism by which one can go forward and structure their account. Thus, before starting with our activity of creating remarketing related ads, we need to know these basics of AdWords, so as we move in the right direction before learning remarketing. With that being said, we have covered some basic steps and had some good understanding about getting started with remarketing and AdWords. In lines with understanding the concept about structure of our account, I would like to share with you some more examples, or indeed rather than examples, would like to showcase the elements we have learned in another form of diagram based explanation. So this is the hierarchy which we have discussed, and I am showing the same out here again, that how data is divided or organized in an AdWords account. And this particular methodology of organization ensures that you have a solid framework, which indeed makes it easy when there is work distributed amongst employees or even people working together on a project. So this hierarchy, we have seen that within account there is campaigns, within campaigns there is ad groups, and within ad groups there is multiple keywords in ads. And the example of television set as well as the example of electronics account, which I had discussed previously, I have tried to just elaborate that and showcase it to you in a more simpler manner here, that if there is an account of an electronics store, how would they go forward and create campaigns. So they would be having different campaigns, that's for TV, for video recorders, for refrigerator. Within campaigns there would be the elements of ad group. There would be, for example, 3 ad groups for 3 set of products like plasma, LED and HD TV. And then within it, each of the campaign would have keywords if it is a campaign related to search ads, that is ads seen when someone search on Google, and that could be consisting of these kind of varieties, like by LED TV as a keyword under the ad group of LED TV. Depending on the variety of campaign type, the targeting method could also be something different apart from keywords. Like there could be targeting related to remarketing list when we want to do remarketing based ad, which we would be seeing indeed in our other set of tutorials. So I believe with these 2 other examples shown here in diagrammatic format, the concept would have been refreshed a bit more and would have penetrated in an efficient manner. Apart from this, I would also like to share some basic understanding around the naming and the tabs which are seen in the interface. So here there is the tab of budget. Budget means the amount you want to spend on a daily basis. Then there is the tab of status. Status defines whether your campaign is currently eligible, and it has all the required elements to show the ads. Many a times a campaign which may not be having necessary budget, that could be shown here with a warning like the campaign is limited by budget. So it's mostly important when a campaign is running live. By default, it should have a status as eligible. Then there are the tabs of clicks, impressions, and CPC or cost per click, and other related tabs seen. We'll be able to understand them in a nice manner when we see data of a live campaign, but for general understanding purpose, particular column of cost is going to be the summation of these 2 columns of CPC and clicks. So let's say you have got a cost per click of 5 rupees and you have got 5 clicks in a time frame. So the total cost would be 25 rupees. 5 clicks multiplied by average cost per click of 5 will equate the cost to 25. Then there is CTR or click-through rate. CTR or click-through rate indeed is a ratio of clicks divided by impressions. So let's say in a time frame of 1 day, your ad is shown for 100 times. So the impression column will have the value of 100, and you have received 5 clicks for your ad. So the clicks column will have the value of 5, and this ratio of clicks upon impressions is known as CTR. And if you take your mouse cursor to the question mark button, you will see a similar example and an explanation of CTR, as well as you can even see the explanation of any of the other concepts with the help of that question mark. Apart from this, I would like to share one important message that any activity in AdWords is applicable real time. That is, you can change the name of the campaign by clicking on this edit button, and that will happen at that very moment. You can even change the budget anytime in a day when you want to. You can also enable or pause or even delete or remove a particular campaign or ad group when you want to. You can do that by clicking on the green sign button which is there near each campaign. And a better suggested idea is to either enable or pause a campaign but not to remove a campaign unnecessarily, because if that happens for a live campaign, there could be actual data of the campaign which would get deleted. Thus, these are the basic points which I want to discuss. The further insights around other elements. So the last step for getting started with showing remarketing ads is to follow this same process and create a campaign, indeed a display campaign, and in that use the targeting method of remarketing and show ads to our end users. That is, in very simple layman terms, the next activity that we have to do, because we have understood that creating a campaign for remarketing is necessary to start with it. Indeed, apart from it, there are some other insights also of creating a display campaign and effectively doing remarketing. But just to show you a glimpse of getting started, let me move on in the interface and show you where this option for creating a remarketing campaign indeed is. Herein, in the AdWords interface, if I go to the plus campaign sign and in that click on display network only, then there is a screen seen with multiple options provided to me for creating a display campaign, in which one of the option is of having the objective of showing our ads again to the users and getting more conversions or leads, which includes doing remarketing so as people buy the product on the website. So here you can see there are 3 objectives, out of which we have to select one to get started. One is objective of just building awareness of a product. Second is an objective of influencing the activity the user would do, that is influence consideration. And last one is drive action, in which there is the first option of buy on your website, which includes remarketing. So indeed that is the option through which we will get started with creating a remarketing campaign. And first steps are as shown by me. You select the type of campaign as display network only, and then you select this particular tab of drive action, in which you start with creating a campaign which has the activity of remarketing happening into it. Once this is done, there are indeed a lot of other steps as well, right from naming your campaign up to selecting your target location, and then the part of bidding and budget and other stuff. So I would name the campaign as remarketing campaign. Then I would select in which location is my ad going to be shown. So it will depend in the location where your business serves. It could be right from one small city or maybe one state or a country up to multiple cities, states, country and locations. So I'm keeping it as it is targeted to India. Then there is the part of languages. There are multiple languages in which people do search on Google, and thus Google even serves ads on different platforms. So if majorly your end user is someone who searches in English, then you keep the language as it is selected with no change. Then there is the part of budget. What budget means is the total amount you are ready to spend per day. That is something which is entered here. This is a limit depending on your company's marketing budget. For example, if your company has a marketing budget of 30,000 rupees, your per day budget would be going to 1,000. If your company would have more or less amount of budget, accordingly you will be changing this amount. And then there is the part of clicking on save and continue, which will create your campaign. Apart from it, there is the other part of choosing how you would be charged for your ad. So if you recall, in one of the previous tutorials I have shared that in case of a campaign related to display, we have option of either doing it basis CPC, that is cost per click, or doing it basis VCPM, which is viewable cost per 1000 impressions, or cost per mile, or cost per milli, which indicates 1000. So depending on your main objective from the campaign, you could choose one of the options from it. In this scenario, I'll choose manual CPC, which means I will be paying an amount each and every time when there is a click received on my ad. Once that is done, I'll click on save and continue, and then I can go with further steps about remarketing. Thus, these are the basic steps which I have explained to you for getting started with remarketing. Apart from this, there is a lot more to be known in terms of bidding, in terms of what are the settings, how we can do different targeting, and then actually going further in the next step, there is also an activity to be understood about code implementation, about capturing our users, about what are the different targeting methods available in display, and even more insights. With our remarketing campaign setup process, we have seen few steps around how to enter bid and what is language and location and other related elements in the previous tutorial. Once we save our campaign, we would actually land on a page which would have the name ad group, and it would be looking something like this, where it will ask us to share details about the name of our ad group as well as other elements around how we would be targeting it. So this is something which is important for ensuring that you are showing ads to the right set of people depending on the kind of product or service they have viewed. But before we move ahead with this particular step, there is an integral step of code setup which is to be done, and without that, indeed, working on this step would not give us any benefit. So let us check out that particular step. Herein I have opened my main page under the campaigns tab on a new particular tab in the browser. The steps for doing setup of code for remarketing is navigate to this icon in the corner, click on shared library, under that select audiences, and there you would be seeing a page which reads up setup remarketing. Click on that particular link of setup remarketing, and then indeed you would be seeing a page which would be showing you a code. As we want to do remarketing, we need to integrate a particular code on all pages of our website. If we do not integrate the code, the remarketing campaign cannot be made live, because without capturing users who are visiting our website page, we would not be able to show them remarketing ads. And this is one of the fundamental important elements we have to know when we are doing remarketing. So this code is something which we need to paste on our web pages. Here there are instructions given on how it can be done, or you can even email it to your developer. Once this setup is complete, then you can go in your tab of ad group and create an ad group around remarketing, and then select the targeting method as interest and remarketing. Also enter a estimated bid value. So for example, here I am entering an estimated bid value of 5 rupees, or I can say a value of around under 10 or 20 cents in case of dollar. There are advanced elements around how that bid value is decided, which we will discuss later. Then going forward from here, there is the part of selecting the remarketing list. Means you click on interest in remarketing and it tells you to select a category. Therein we have to select option number 4 of remarketing list. What this option means is that when we put up the code suggested by Adwords on our web pages, we will be seeing a list which would have number of users who are visiting our website. So past our code goes live, Google AdWords will start capturing them, and by default all of those users fall under an element of remarketing list, and that is what we are selecting here, that we want to target this particular campaign with the help of remarketing list. And in that we would be selecting the option of all visitors, because by default with the help of the code all visitors of the website are targeted for showing the remarketing ad. And past selecting it, you would go to the bottom of the page and click on save and continue. Once that is done, then there will be a page which would ask us for creating an ad, because as we have known, each campaign will have an ad group and each ad group needs to have an ad so as it is triggered to the end user. So here on the page we'll create a short and simple ad around a product of mobile phones. So here I have created a very basic ad which has some headline, which has some description. It is quite much in line with the kind of ads we have seen in our previous examples. And indeed the difference is that whenever a person is captured on the website, then that person will be shown this particular remarketing ad, and you can create multiple varieties of it, and there are many different set of images and other stuff which can be added. So apart from the text part, there is also an image to be added, so there are some free images also provided from therein. So we will select any particular image which is available here, and once I am done with the part of adding images and text, I'll be seeing that there are a variety of ads created which are having the element of images also seen together with text. So this is just an example perspective wherein I am taken random images, but in case of a particular product or service, there would be that exact image of that product or service being shown. And once that is done, I'll click on save ads, and past that indeed I have completed the basic process of getting started with remarketing, in which I have done the part of capturing the users with the help of the code into a remarketing list named as all visitors, and then creating an ad group which is targeting those users and creating an ad for them as well. Thus, this ends up our basic learning about remarketing. Hope you have enjoyed the same. Thanks a lot for viewing it, you can see a lot of further details and learn more insights about it in the other part, which is indeed a paid course, which takes you into the insights of remarketing, right from explaining the concept of how to do it for even videos, as well as getting more deeper with remarketing list, even understanding how remarketing can be done for search ads, and a lot more. So if you have liked this particular set of learnings of remarketing, you can go ahead and buy that paid course as well. Thanks a lot.